Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, friends, as today's topic is auction of securities. Auction of securities, as I told you, it is actually an auction which is resorted to when there is a default in delivery by the broker. That is buyer broker and the seller broker you have. Okay, so delivery by a broker, one of the broker, that is who is ought to give the shares, who has not given the shares. There you have an auction of securities which has to be executed by the exchange, whatever exchange it is, either it is NSE or it is BSE. See, the auction has to be conducted by the exchange. It is the responsibility of the exchange. Okay, so when such a happening happens. Okay, so as I'm just telling you that you have a buyer broker on one side and you have a seller broker on the other side, isn't it? So let us assume that there is transactions which are happening every day, okay, by the buyer broker as well as the seller broker. So in this mechanism, let us assume that the buyer broker, okay, has bought some shares, from the exchange, okay, and the seller broker has sold some shares, okay, in the exchange. Are you able to understand? Now, one fine day, there is an intraday transaction. What do you understand by intraday, friends? It is buying and selling on the same day, isn't it? So, an intraday, here also an intraday, but here the so-called broker is doing a short position. What do you understand by short position? He sells first and later he buys and delivers the same to the buyer. Are you able to understand? Okay. Now, the moment the seller broker has sold the shares or taken the short position, he is selling the shares and he is purchasing the shares. Now, it is your responsibility, that is the seller broker's responsibility, is to deliver the shares to this buyer broker. Isn't it? When it is on T+1, T-Rose transaction, if the transaction is done today, okay, so by tomorrow, that is T+1 day, you are supposed to send the same to the so-called depository, by means of which these shares, the shares which are there in the dedicated pool account will be transferred to on the T+2 day to the buyer broker dedicated pool account, by means of which it will be transferred to the buyer broker's account, isn't it? T+2 day, the complete transaction will be closed. But friends, please concentrate. Please concentrate. See, friends, if there is, let us assume that there is a situation that this buyer broker could not able to deliver the shares which are ought to deliver to the so-called buyer broker. వీడి షేర్స్ కొన్నాడు మార్నింగ్, వీడి షేర్స్ అమ్మాడు మార్నింగే, ఏమండి, అమ్మిన వాడు షేర్స్ ఇచ్చేయాలి, T+2 డేస్లోని సెటిల్మెంట్ జరిగిపోవాలి. కానీ ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ద డేకి వచ్చేటప్పటికి సెల్లర్ బ్రోకర్ చేతులు ఎత్తేసాడు. ఎందుకు చేతులు ఎత్తేసాడు? బాబు, నా దగ్గర నేను కొనలేకపోయాను షేర్స్, ఆ రోజు షేర్స్ రౌండ్ ఆఫ్ చేయలేదు బ్రోకర్. ఎందుకు? షేర్స్ లేవు, ఎవడు అమ్మలేదు అడిగి, ఏమండి, ఆడు కొనలేదు, ఏమండి. మరి అలాంటప్పుడు వాడి దగ్గర షేర్స్ ఉండవు కదా. ఇలా ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్స్ చాలా రేర్గా జరుగుతూ ఉంటాయి. కానీ ఇలాంటి రేర్గా జరిగే సిచ్యువేషన్స్ రోజు ఆప్షన్ పెడుతుంది ఎక్స్చేంజెస్. వి విల్ సీ ఆల్ దట్ టుడే itself. Okay, so now the moment the seller broker doesn't have the shares, okay, and when it is properly informed through the clearing corporation to the exchange realizes, okay, that this seller broker doesn't have the shares holding, so therefore he could not able to send the same to the buyer broker. This will be properly informed by the exchange to the buyer broker that Mr. Buyer Broker, Please wait for some time so that we'll give you the shares. Okay, friends, that is which happens. Okay, so let us now see what happens actually. So it is actually a short delivery, what is technically called as. What is this called as? It is called as a short delivery. Okay, short delivery. There is no shares in the hands of the seller, so could not able to deliver the same. Okay, so here is a small description about the same. Okay, so you might, that is you in the sense, some person is assuming, you might sometimes get a notice, like, that is, for example, if you are a buyer of some particular shares. Okay, sometimes you get a notice from the exchange saying that you have your purchase of, that is, you who have purchased X number of shares of Reliance Industries has come under short delivery. మీరు కానీ ఒకవేళ పర్చేస్ చేస్తుంటే ఆ పర్చేస్ చేసిన షేర్స్ని ఏమంటే మీరు ఎవరైతే మీకు అమ్మారో ఆయన ఒకవేళ షేర్స్ మీకు ఇవ్వలేకపోయిన పరిస్థితిలో ఎక్స్చేంజ్ మీకు ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ పంపిస్తుంది. ఓకే, దాని గురించి ఏం చెప్తున్నాడు, ఒకవేళ ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ ద పర్సన్ who has purchased X number of shares of Reliance company or Reliance Industries has come under short delivery. Short delivery వచ్చింది నాయన అని మనకి మెసేజ్ వస్తే, the shares will be delivered to you after the auction అని వస్తుంది. అయ్యి బాబా ఏటైపోయింది, వాట్ ఇఫ్ ఆర్ రాదర్ వాట్ హస్ హ్యాపెండ్, that is your question mark. Okay, so what has happened in the sense, you buy shares, that is your money goes out of your account, you know pretty well, isn't it? The next day. On which day? The next day. What friends, you bought the shares, okay, on which day? So for example, you are the broker, right? You are the broker. On which day your money has to be transferred to the clearing bank account? It is T+1, isn't it? So T+1 you'll transfer from the clearing bank. Okay, that will be transferred to or directed towards the seller broker. Okay, from this clearing bank to his clearing bank account. Okay, on T+2 day. On T+2 day. మన చేతి నుంచి మనం బయ్యర్ బ్రోకర్ కదా, ఇక్కడ నుంచి T+1 will be transferred to the clearing bank account, isn't it? Clearing bank pool account, isn't it? So that is what he is also telling you. Your money goes out of your account the next day, T+1. Seller's shares go out of his account the next day, isn't it? That also you know. Okay, demat account, it will be transferred, isn't it? Okay, so the dedicated dedicated account, it will be transferred. So you get shares. The seller gets money on T+2 day. Everything is going in the way it is. Then all this happens. If everything is cool and everything is going according to its system, then it is okay. This will be the thing which is going to that. Now, what if seller doesn't own the shares? That is what our question mark. What is the point of discussion is this? So this can only happen in intraday. I just told you that this can only happen in intraday transactions. Because in most of the cases, then there will be a huge purchase of shares and huge sale of shares every day. And I also told you, these will be happened every day by the I told you that the brokers will be taking the positions every day, every moment. They'll be transacting. I told you they'll be trading on money, isn't it? So this can happen intraday only. You can sell and buy back in intraday. I think you pretty well know that. Now, what actually happens, when does this auction comes into picture? Okay, how it happens and all we'll try to discuss now. In the process or in the mechanism, actually, the mechanism is T+0, that is this day, Okay, you buy the share. T plus 1 day, it has come to know that the moment the transactions are informed to everybody, you also pretty well know that the transaction, once the transaction is done, the exchange is ready to share the information to the clearing houses and the depository participants. Okay, by means of which the deposit, the broker, that is the clearing members and the depository participants will come to know that, where is the shortage, what is the shortage, is there is any shortage or not, isn't it? I go ahead again, go back again, once again, and try to recollect. I told you, friends, the moment the exchange, okay, order the exchange has the information, this exchange information on the day end will be sent to the depository as well as the clearing corporation. The clearing corporation and depository has its participants as depository participant and the clearing member as the brokers. Okay, and these people will be immediately coming to know that there is some shortage, and that shortage of shares will immediately be informed to the exchange. ఇదంతా కూడా ఏమండి, ఇదంతా కూడా ఆ రోజు జరుగుతుంది అనమాట. ఆ T+1 నాడు జరుగుతుంది. జరిగిన వెంటనే అంటే టీ డేకి T+1కి ఉన్న ఆ సమయంలోనే మొత్తం అంతా జరుగుతుంది. When the moment the exchange realizes that there is a short of shares to be delivered, సెల్లర్ దగ్గర షేర్స్ లేవండి, వాటి ఏం చేయమంటారు అంటే ఎక్స్చేంజ్ వెంటనే నెక్స్ట్ డే అంటే T+1 డే T+2 డే నాడు మొత్తం అంతా తెలిసిన తర్వాత రిలయన్స్ షేర్స్ సో మెనీ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ షేర్స్ ఏమండి మాకు కావాలి అని ఎక్స్చేంజ్ సపరేట్ జోన్ ఉంటుందండి దీనికి ఎక్స్చేంజ్ లో. ఆ జోన్ లోని ఈ పర్టికులర్ షేర్స్ ని ఆప్షన్ చేస్తారండి. ఏమండి T+2 డే నాడు ఏమండి ఆప్షన్ కండక్ట్ చేస్తుంది. ఎక్స్చేంజ్ విల్ కండక్ట్ అన్ ఆప్షన్ to purchase these particular shares because there is a short of those particular shares. Okay, so who will participate, or who is going to give the shares, in this particular mechanism? See, you have a market participants who own the shares. Market participants are none other than the brokers, okay, who own the shares. Okay, so those brokers or market participants, okay, and they'll come and participate. Brokers and the other members also who own the shares will come into the market. It is a separate zone, I told you, where in which the exchange provides a platform, for purchasing, okay, those particular shares. The moment the exchange purchases, okay, it is returned to the so-called buyer who has returns to the person who has a short delivery. That broker will be charged with the amount along with the transaction charges to be charged. Okay, and from there again those shares will be delivered, okay, on the T+4 day. That is, on T+2 day the auction will be conducted. Okay, the moment the auction is conducted, you take one day for transferring the amount by the so-called depositories and the clearing houses, yes or no, isn't it? So T+3 నాడు ఎప్పుడైతే ఆప్షన్ T+2 డే నాడు ఆప్షన్ జరిగిందో, ఆ షేర్స్ కొంటారనుకుందాం, కొన్నారైతే ఎక్స్చేంజ్ ఎప్పుడైతే కొంటుందో ఆ షేర్స్ ని క్లియరింగ్ మెంబర్ కి తర్వాత డిపాజిటరీ పార్టిసిపెంట్ కి పంపించి ఆ T+3 నాడు ఏమండి ఆ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేయడానికి ఉంటుంది. తర్వాత T+4, on the T+4 shares actually hit the accounts, okay, and the so-called buyer will receive the shares, okay, on that particular T+4 day. If this is understood, I proceed further, friends. Is that okay? Please unmute and tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So then friends, so let us assume that the so-called exchange could not able to purchase the shares on that particular day. Nobody has come forward to sell the shares to the exchange. Let us assume. Then what happens? In another day, again on the T plus 3 day, an auction will be conducted. So there will be another T plus on the, if it is so happened on that day T plus 3 నాడు కానీ ఒకవేళ జరిగితే ఆప్షన్ కండక్ట్ చేయగలిగితే అది కానీ ఫుల్ఫిల్ అయితే T plus 5th day నాడు వీటి షేర్స్ హిట్ అవుతాయి. If not again, it goes. Okay, and see, that is what it says. Could take longer if auction also fails to deliver. That is what I want to tell you. Okay, so could take longer time if auction fails on this particular day. Okay, so it may take more time also. So meanwhile, as you are a buyer of particular shares, okay, you cannot sell your shares. Okay, you pretty well feel that your shares you will be delivered by the exchange, isn't it? But friends, make it reality that you don't hold those particular shares even after fourth day or fifth day. Because of that reason, in this meanwhile situation, you cannot do any transactions with that particular company's share. Okay, so you don't have the shares to deliver because they haven't been delivered to you. Okay, so till T plus 4 they aren't with you in your demat account, so you cannot sell them. Okay, and well, what happens is, you need to wait for the time until it is so delivered to you. Okay, friends, so this is what the actual theme of the thing is. If you sell and don't deliver, you don't have shares in your account. So NSE conducts an auction on T plus 2 day, and if your shares, if the auction is okay, it is okay. Your this that is, the buyer will get the shares. If it is not done, it is again postponed. It is again postponed until the auction gets cleared. So you, after the auction is conducted, the exchange will tell you that you need to pay the higher of these. Okay, so what it costs in the auction, or the closing price on the trading day. Okay, or if no one provides the shares, an auction price plus 20% you need to pay, isn't it? So sometimes you need to wipe away the any gain on it. Okay, so all this is mandatory requirements, right, friends? So in the NSE, if you find this zone, the zone is here. It is, I think you cannot. Uh, is it legible to see? We will move on to the website if it is so possible. I'll try to copy this link and paste so that we will try to get the link. Now here is the days, previous days, that is on May 6, 2020. Okay, so the stocks in call auction, that is for the people who are willing to buy, that is the exchange wants to buy. And in the sessions, in the session you have a different sessions, right? It has conducted 6 sessions to purchase the shares, the exchange. The first session, second session, third session, fourth session, average price of purchasing the share, and the total volume which has to be purchased, because those many number of shares are to be purchased. That is the short, that is the short position of the respective shares, whose symbols are listed here. Okay, friends. Now let me copy down this copy down this entire link, and let us see the running of the market. Today is Friday. Today is Thursday. So today the market is different. The shares which are listed here also are different. You know. So uh, friends, let me know from you whether this screen is visible, because I feel that the screen is having a very small letters. I don't know whether
Visible,
you
sir.
could able to. Is it okay? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
we carry on. Yeah. So see friends, here it is stock stocks and call option. So in the NSE, these are the different options you have, and in which you have one option called stocks and call option. That is the reason I have opted for it. You know, and on this, as on May 7, 2020 at 11:38 moment, the particular exchange, you know, it has these particular shares which are to be auctioned. That is, these particular shares which are auctioned, you know, and the quantities will be listed, according to the requirement. The quantities will be listed. See, all these are the shares, friends. Some of them they are available, some of them are they are not available. Still there is, there is no transaction, which has happened in these. There are no people who are coming forward to, to sell these particular. There are no market participants, to sell the shares, these particular shares, or the particular market participants are not ready to sell these shares. Rather, okay, it is already two sessions. I think it is already completed. Two sessions are already completed. So the third session is also going to complete. Okay, by 12:30. By 12:30, the third session is also going to complete. Okay, and in the meanwhile, total volume which has just taken place. Okay, until now. This is the average price at which they bought the shares. Okay, that is what it is listed here. Okay, so some of them, some the shares are not the same every day, isn't it? So some of them are repeated as well. Okay, maybe they could not able to purchase the previous day. That's the reason they might have gone for C. I think what is this? JRHWS. Let us show. Okay. Now this is here. In this, I think we can see that company also here. See, here is the second company here also. On the last day, that is on the 6th May, also the same company is also traded. That is, the same share was also purchased. Might I think there is more shortfall. Only few shares have been purchased in the last sessions. Okay, and now the exchange wants to purchase the remaining and may have come again to the market to purchase the remaining. Maybe that is the reason. I think the company is again, yeah, isn't it? Okay. So these are the things which session wise. The session wise, how many shares has been purchased in the third session. Okay, so until now, how many has been purchased? Another session, for example, you want to see the session one. So this is the list of session one shares which are purchased. Okay, which are bought, rather, which are bought by the exchange. Now this is the list. Session one, session two. Session two, how many such shares have been purchased? Bought, rather. No? So even that is displayed. The summaries of all the sessions has been displayed here. So likewise, you need to you need to update yourself, to the market, so that you'll be able to understand what is actually happening. So that you will be knowing what is actually there in the market, how the functionalities are going on. Because our subject is totally with the back-end operations. You need to know what is happening in the market, and then try to correlate and understand what is really happening. know. I feel like these online classes has helped a lot. In explaining you the online concepts to the maximum extent. If not, I think this would not have been possible for us. Now, let me ask you some questions on these.